Certainly I'm getting a lot of reaction to the media at the moment with the coronavirus and the fact that it is now main news across all channels and across all media, and I can understand why. The situation is a serious one, but my previous two videos are still the same in terms of where I see a real threat to people life-wise. I mean, I think it's got, certainly there's a huge threat to the economies of the world, there's no doubt about that. And yes, there are going to be fatalities with the disease going through the country and through the world, as there has been already. And yes, we could find a lot of people in the UK will get the disease at a point in time going forward if it can't be contained. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things one needs to really do as an individual to ensure, first of all, one doesn't get the disease, or does everything they can to ensure they don't get the disease. But secondly, if they do happen to pick it up somewhere along the line, what they should be doing to ensure their bodies are in a position to fight the disease, to ensure they fight it off once they actually get it. That's really what I want to talk about. First of all, when it comes to preventing yourself getting the disease, well, you know, that government ad that went out quite often in the initial stages last month about washing your hands, blowing your nose or coughing into tissues, disposing of the tissues immediately, is, as trivial as it may sound, that is very, very important. And I say to the kids all the time about washing their hands. Your hands are, let's think about it, your hands are the one part of your body that touches everything else, touches other people, touches worktops, laptops, all kinds, door handles, everything. Your hands touch a great deal of different things throughout the course of a day, and therefore you need to wash them as frequently as you can, because when your hands obviously touch other things, but they tend to touch your mouth, they tend to touch your nose, you rub your eye, you rub parts of your face. So your hand is your body part which does the most damage to the rest of you. So that's why washing your hands, not washing them once in the morning and once in the evening or once when you've just come in from school, you've got to wash your hands as frequently as possible. And it's for at least 20 seconds under warm to hot water with the soap to give them a good old wash till they're literally, after a few days, they're probably quite dry. So fine, you know, get some cream and put it on your hands if you need to. But the important thing is continue to wash those hands. And when you don't wash those hands, get one of those antibacterial gels that's recommended for covering your hands with a protective disinfectant type cover for the period of time that you're in traveling, for whatever. I would say you need to use that more when you're out and about than when you're actually at home, because at home washing your hands is the best way of dealing with it. When you do sneeze or cough, try and capture that in the tissue and dispose of the tissue straight away. Critical. And then wash your hands again. The hands washing is the most critical part, but blowing your nose, coughing, try and cough into a tissue and get rid of it that way. Very important. Safeguards you, and it safeguards the people around you as well. Excuse me. The other important factor, okay, when it comes to protection and protecting others is the face mask. Now, a lot of criticism has been raised about face masks, that they don't do the job. These molecules that are in the air, that particularly with this coronavirus, are so small they can get into the sides of the mask, and therefore you can still breathe them in or get them into your mouth, into your eyes, whatever the case may be. Yes, they are. If you're in a very congested area in a lift and people are coughing and spluttering, or if you're in a train and there's lots of people in there and they're coughing and spluttering, a mask will give you a certain amount of protection, but it won't give you 100% protection. So they're not 100%, and some are better than others, obviously, in terms of what they're made of and how they're fitted. But they do give some protection, and therefore, I do recommend wearing masks in certain parts of the country or environment you're in. Now, I know in our country we haven't really given that a lot of thought over the years. In Asia, the masks have been used for decades, not just for viruses, but for all kinds of other things that are in the air, because the air quality in some of these large Asian cities is not very good, and people have become accustomed to wearing masks. Masks are available. They're available on Amazon. They are available in Boots. And I see some are now available in Tesco and some of the other retail outlets. So they are out there. And there are times when it's probably would be a good idea to wear them. If you're in an airplane, for example, why not? If you're in a train, I say, why not? They do give a certain amount of protection, depending on the quality of the mask. Something else which is quite critical in terms of fighting the virus is your hydration. Drink plenty of water. If you keep yourself well lubricated and hydrated with water, and you're drinking water on a regular basis, any little bug particles that get into your mouth area will get washed down into the stomach rather than get into the breathing apparatus inside your body here. If that gets flushed into the stomach area, it gets destroyed by the stomach acids, so you don't have that concern. Obviously, you can't wash through everything. You see, the thing is with the virus, it gets into the lungs, and that's where the damage is caused. That's where the fatal elements of the damage is caused, with the pneumonia developing in the lungs. So that's what you're trying to prevent. So drinking water, if your throat is dry and your mouth is dry, particles are going to stay in your mouth a lot longer, and they are then going to get, here's my dog, hello Louis, and are then going to become a higher risk for going into your lungs, through into your windpipes and into your lungs, which is where you don't want them to go. If they go down through the esophagus into the stomach, that will be okay. And obviously they're so small you can't see them anyway. But by keeping yourself well lubricated in the mouth, okay, drinking water, keeping everything nice and flowing, it does give you another opportunity to take away some of that risk. And water is good for you anyway. You're hydrating. The more hydrated you are, the better your immune system is going to be when it comes to fighting a virus. Now, when it comes to fighting the virus that you have, you're unfortunate enough to catch this virus. What you've got to do is obviously take all the necessary precautions and measures to ensure your immune system remains strong, okay, and you are tough enough to deal with it, to fight it. Now, you can only do that really prior to having it. So it's a proactive approach to looking at yourself now and saying, Am I strong enough? Is my immune system working well enough to deal what comes at it? What is it going to do? I'm particularly keen on this one because young people, very young children, sometimes have weaknesses in their immune system as they're growing. You know, diet is not quite right. Things are going on in their lives. They're getting these bugs naturally through various sources, and it does have an impact on the immune system. The immune system fights these things back, but there's a complex process involved there. So you've got to have all your body functions working well to actually drive your immune system to full capacity to make it work. So healthy diet is very important. Hydration is very important, and then obviously ensuring you have the right mineral content in your body that are giving the support to your heart, your liver, your kidneys, your stomach in terms of bowel movements and things like that, giving you the strengths, inner strengths, to actually make sure everything's working. Now, you're not always going to know that, and so the best thing to do is always eat sensibly, eat wisely. So if you're an adult, not drinking loads and loads of alcohol is not going to solve your problem. For a start, alcohol dehydrates you, and it gives you a feeling of uncertainty anyway. You got to make sure you're eating those fresh veggies, that you're eating that fresh fruit, that you're drinking plenty of water, that you're eating the right balance in proteins, and you're getting yourself into the fresh air and exercising yourself on a regular basis. Very important. All that you can be doing now. So when this virus comes along, and any virus comes along for that matter, your body is strong enough to deal with it, to fight it. Now, when you're fighting the virus, or fighting the enemy, for want of a better word, it's all about in here, and it's the individuals. Now, you have people who are reactive, and there are people who are proactive. People who are reactive, they tend to be people who wait for things to happen before they do something. And it doesn't have to be, I'm talking generally anything. It could be you're waiting, you've got a problem that needs to be solved, and you've got to, okay, before I try and solve it, I'll wait and see what the other person or it could be a problem with a bank, it could be a problem with a supplier, it could be a problem with a school lesson with a teacher, it could be a problem with anything. You know what needs to happen, but you are going to react only when you're told or advised, or you're waiting for something to happen. You're reacting to someone else's position before you do anything. You become reactive, and in human nature, I guess a lot of people tend to be more reactive than proactive. Now, this is very important for this disease. One has got to be proactive. One cannot wait and then try and do something. Well, you can, but what I'm saying is try and avoid that. Be proactive. Do things that you know make sense, to make you stronger for the event that comes along, that you're tough enough to fight it off. Being proactive in life is far better than being reactive in life generally. And I wish more and more people were proactive in what they were trying to do in their lives, with themselves, with their families, with their companies, with their education, with their health. Proactive thinking is what wins the day in terms of many things, and it will again be of particular importance with winning against this particular disease. Okay, that's Simon's words of wisdom for today. I hope you found this useful. Have a good day.